Okie dokie, boys and girls, so there is official proof in the flesh that my legs have gotten bigger. Yesterday in the afternoon or in the evening, I guess, I went out for a second run with my cousin, and what the fuck, my legs were hurting. Not like muscle pain, not like soreness, but fucking my thighs chafing against each other into oblivion. Like, they're fucking red today. I hope they don't start bleeding during this run. But that just means that my legs have gotten bigger, so I'm actually quite happy with the pain. It's kind of this situation, right? I mentioned this before, building muscle is like watching paint dry, right? You don't notice it until you get back. Like, it doesn't matter, you know, if you stand 100 meters from a wall or 1 meter, you know, if you can't touch the wall, it's the same feeling. But once the walls close, you know, the inside of my leg, once that gap closes, you start to feel the progress. And, you know, it's not like I felt this progress day by day, right? It's not like I was measuring my legs. But then, boom, one day, all of a sudden, it's there. I mean, my legs were chafing more and more lately. But yesterday, because of those 2 runs, I really noticed my legs are not that skinny anymore, that there's a gap between them. So that's a good feeling of progress. I mean, it's the same for you, for me, for everyone, right? You're not gonna maybe notice day-to-day progress, right? Especially in your body. You won't notice daily progress because the progress is very slow. And so people might work out for like a week, or especially when the new year starts, right, for a month, not notice too much difference and quit. But if you give those same people like a contract or a promise, hey, in 100 days, would you like to have 1 or 2 kilos more muscle? I think everyone would sign the contract. But then when you tell them, great, you will see 1 to 2 kilos of more muscle, right? You will be stronger. Only you have to work out consistently, right, and hard. Then suddenly they don't want to sign the contract anymore. It's kind of the situation where everyone says, yeah, I want to be a millionaire. But then when they get told to start a business, right, work over hours, then suddenly, you know, they don't need to be a millionaire. I mean, I don't need to be a millionaire either. I don't want to do a fucking job that I don't like. So that's kind of that situation, you know. You put in the work, and one day you will notice that the pile of sand that you've been growing turns into a mountain. So today is a push day. We've got some heavy planche. I can't help myself. I feel like doing heavy planche again. So I'm gonna put weight on my feet. And I kind of want to fill in on the topic from, I think, 2 days ago, where I was mentioning, you know, you have intensity for skills and you have intensity for bodybuilding, right? To put on muscle. If you want to purely bodybuild, then you should focus on, you know, as much intensity as possible with the least amount of sets, least amount of frequency. So you do like a few sets a week, right? As hard as possible. Well, if you want to train for skills, right? The powerlifting style, the calisthenics skill style, you actually want to do a lot of sets below your maximum, right? You want to do more frequency. You want to do more volume. And, well, which ones should you use? Of course, it's going to be for your goals, but let's say that you're a beginner, right? As a beginner, you want everything. You want the skills, you want the planche, you want bigger muscles, right? And I don't blame you. I'm the same. And I've been training for almost 9 years now. But as a beginner, I would say focus on the skills, because, you know, when you're a beginner, when you're just starting out, you don't need a lot of stimulus, right? You could be breathing and eating in a calorie surplus and put on muscle. I mean, not that easy, because then everyone would be jacked, but you don't have to give your muscles that big of a stimulus. You can just, give them a lower stimulus with planche training, and they'll still get bigger as long as you're eating. It's kind of the Dragon Ball thing, right? You eat or you train hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty. That's how they say it, right? That's how Master Roshi taught Goku and Kuririn. Is that how you pronounce it in English? I don't know, but yeah, those guys, they trained hard, study well, and they ate and slept plenty. So that's what you can do as a beginner. You can focus on the skill, study the skill, eat a lot of food, and gain muscle at the same time. You don't need to focus on that one magical sit or those few magical sits, because in the first place, in the beginning, it's gonna be difficult to push yourself that hard. So I would say as a beginner, if you want both, focus on getting stronger. If you get strong and you eat enough, you will get bigger. So let's head back home and do some planche training. Alright guys, so my thighs are as red as a tomato. I gotta find a solution to this shit because it's fucking painful. I think I'm gonna get out of the shower here, forget about the existence of my underwear for a day and just live in the shorts, give my thighs some airtime, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, regardless of that, now it's time for a planche training. You might have guessed it, but going back to the weighted planche to horsecock some serious weight, because I woke up at 73.4 kilos. All of a sudden, the weight gain is going very smoothly, but that means that this is going to be the heaviest planche I've done in my lifetime. So PRs to be made. And what I'm going to do today is kind of go further from the previous training, right? So the previous trainings, I kind of was just experimenting with the weighted planche. I kind of know where I'm at, right? Like if you know what I'm saying, I set the bar, I know what I'm capable of, and now it's time to basically surpass that. So today I want to see if I can get 30 seconds of total hold time in the planche with 2 kilos. I have no clue how that's gonna go because I can hold the planche with 2 kilos for like 5 seconds, but it's gonna be a fun challenge nonetheless. And this stuff, it might not directly translate to endurance, but doing this will make the actual planche feel very light and allow me to get endurance when I get back to it. So very fun training. And the planche, I've said it before, I'll say it again, planche is king of push. It will translate into every exercise. So it's like one of the most difficult and hardest horsecock exercises you can have already, and then you add weight to it. It's like doing the power to the power of 2, basically, to the horsecock level of the original exercise. So yeah, I have when you start being able to do a planche with weight and like really master it, right? I haven't mastered the planche with weight, but there are people out there who can do like many planche push-ups with weight on their feet, and they have it's like when you watch that shit, it's like you have no business being that strong, right? So that's kind of the level that you should aim for yourself. Always try to be as strong as possible, and then when you eat enough, you will make gains in the process. But anyway, 30 seconds in total. I don't know how many sets it will take. I will just do one set every 4 minutes. Let's see how it goes. All right, let's try to work on the form as well, straightening the legs and stuff. Keeping the form is very difficult. Let's try to extend the legs better. Alright, halfway right now. I don't know if I'm gonna make 30 seconds, but I'm gonna give it a go with a couple more sets. Alright, a total of 20 seconds has been reached. Now I'm gonna just finish off with some dynamic planche holds. You might have seen me do this before, but basically I'm gonna use momentum to get into the position of the planche and repeat that for reps. This will allow me, to get more volume in the planche position while exerting my maximum strength rather than, lowering the weight, which it's a valid approach as well, but today I feel like doing the dynamic holds. At the progression that I'm not able to hold anymore, go in that position anyway, feel the planche for even that one single moment, it's gonna come in handy. All right. Alright. That's enough weighted planche. When you do these dynamic holds, make sure that every time you reach the planche position, you actually try to hold it for at least a second, right? And then you'll fail because you don't have the power yet, but at least you put out your maximum effort. So yeah, I'm gonna remove the weights now. The main work of the workout has been done, right? Let me turn off the music. The main work has been done. The only goal is next time to basically improve on what we did today. So maybe next time the total amount of volume can be 25 seconds of planche, right? But yeah, that's it for the main thing today. So now I'm just gonna do some back off stuff, have some fun, do a bit of lighter work, If you end your workout on like the main part of your workout, like the heaviest things that you did, I feel like the recovery is not as good as it can be. So I usually like to do some lighter stuff afterwards as well. It's kind of the same, when you go to the gym, you first do your main exercise like the bench or something, and then you do some flies afterwards to basically squeeze the remaining stuff out of your muscle, but also to get the blood flowing, right? To get the blood flowing even more, get all the nutrients in your muscle, and basically recover from there. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna do some floor planche, I believe. I wanna see if I can get the correct wrist mobility or position in the full planche. Basically, when you're doing these skills, right, the exercise is quite complex. So there is a lot of technique to work on as well, and that's what I'm gonna do for a couple of sets right now. Whew. I don't have fucking shoulder power left anymore. Okay, since there's no power lift, let's do one more set here. It's not really becoming like a pump stuff thing, but whatever. Let's try one push-up off the floor. My fucking thumbs are hurting. All right, that's it for today. Okay, so I don't know if the lighting is better here, but let's do a quick physique check and find out afterwards. All right. Today, to be honest, I am not very pumped because what the hell did I do? I did some holds, I did some push-ups in the end, but really there was not any volume work that would induce a freakish pump, right? But still, feeling very good. And today's weight, morning weight, was, like I said, 73.4 kilos. Normally, if I woke up at that weight, I would feel fat and sluggish as shit, just bloated to hell. But really, the food I've been eating is healthy, so I don't feel bloated at all. I just feel good at this weight at the moment, and that's what you want to kind of aim for, especially on a calisthenics bulk, right? If you're doing these exercises, right, where you hoist your own body, right, you move your own body instead of some weight, right? You feel bloated, you're gonna notice it immediately. So you want to feel as good as possible. I mean, that's for every sport, but I feel like especially for calisthenics, right? You feel a bloated belly, your planche is gonna suck, your front lever is gonna suck. So that's something that you wanna take care of, right? To eat healthy as much as possible. And that's what I've kind of been doing. So maybe tomorrow I'll do a full day of eating. We'll see. I won't promise anything. But yeah, for today's training, it was very good. It was very heavy. The next time, basically, I'm just gonna try and surpass this because it doesn't really matter what you improve upon, right? I mean, I do kind of want to say, like, focus on one or two exercises per body part that you're training, right? In my case, it's push, pull, legs. I focus on one or two exercises for every one of those, right? But as long as you're doing those exercises that you're focusing on, right? As long as you're trying to get stronger at those exercises, it really doesn't matter what kind of training you're doing, right? I can do volume planche training. I can do like fucking heavy planche training, right? I can do technique work. For the front lever, it's the same. For the pistol squat, it's the same. As long as you're doing the movement, getting stronger at it, eating enough food, you're gonna build some muscle and get a nice physique. I mean, 3 months and a half into the bulk, but still some abs visible, so very happy. Now I'm gonna have a shower, have some breakfast, remove my fucking underpants because my legs are just fucking chafed to the fucking oblivion, right? But don't worry, I'll be wearing shorts. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for a pool day, and I'm out.